Peace. I want to talk about the benefits, not benefits, but why melanin is the shit. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Why melanin is the shit, and yeah, why we gods and why we're just unstoppable. That's an opinion, I guess, but melanin is the shit, and it's very powerful, and I want to talk about it. So I am getting my personal trainer certification, right? And in the course, it said as a carbon-based life form, da 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 da. I'm just like, carbon-based life form. What the fuck is carbon? And how am I a carbon-based life form? So I asked ChatGPT what the fuck a carbon is, right? Because you gotta think about it. When we breathe, when we're taking in oxygen and transforming our food, the foods that we eat. Because okay, in order for our cells to okay, I'm trying to get this down. There's a lot of shit going on in my mind. So in order for our cells to break down the foods that we eat into energy for it to function, our bodies to function properly, our body needs energy to function properly. Our cells need energy to function properly. And without our cells, we wouldn't be here because we are made up of cells and atoms. So basically, we need oxygen and we need this food to break down this energy, right? But as we break down the food and to create energy. But in order to produce energy, carbon dioxide is like a byproduct of that. So just think about you driving a car and then the emissions that's coming out of the car, the gas that's coming out of the car is a byproduct of you driving that car. That is the same thing with carbon dioxide. So that's when we exhale, we're exhaling carbon dioxide. So carbon is a part of our bodies in that way too, but it's also a part of everything else. I'm gonna read this. A carbon-based life form is any living organism whose structure and biological processes are primarily built around carbon atoms. Carbon is a fundamental element. Carbon is the fundamental element of life on Earth because its unique ability to form stable, complex molecules such as proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, and DNA, basically. So, basically, humans, animals, plants, fungi, bacteria is all carbon-based life forms, right? So what is carbon? Carbon has the atomic number of 6, which means it has 6 protons. In the Bible, I'm just touching this just a little bit. I'm not religious at all, so yeah, not that. But I am gonna say, I know a little bit about the Bible, and I like tying different things in together to figure out how I can get closer to the truth. So I don't discriminate on any religions or thought patterns or belief systems or whatever the case, because I want to get as close to the truth as possible. Philosophy, psychology, whatever the case. So I'm going to utilize all of these different perspectives to get as close to the truth as I can. And what I can say or what I can get from that is everything is pretty much connected, because I've been looking at all kinds of different shit. And I mean, all kinds of different things, like all types of different things, like different types of philosophy and different ways of thinking. And I've been utilizing it and all tying it in together, and it all is rooted towards the same thing in the same direction, as in trying to get towards the truth and find a perfect way to live, find the meaning to life, the truth to life, our purpose as humans, discover the things that aren't discovered within science, which is how our for example, how our consciousness and memories are a thing based off of the structure of the brain, where that comes from, what spirituality is, all of the things that can't be explained. All of that is what the direction of this information is, but it's all just talked about or discussed or interpreted in different ways with different languages, different terms, and all the things, but it's all the same shit, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Hope y'all follow what I'm trying to say. But anyway, so, like in the Bible, they say mark of the beast and all of this kind of shit, and 666, devil number, and all that kind of stuff. Well, carbon's atomic number is 6, and I believe that is very significant, but we're just going to brush past that. I just wanted to touch on that and say that real quick. But carbon is the foundation of life. Carbon is the backbone of organic molecules, like I mentioned before, like the foods we eat, proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acid, DNA, RNA, all of that. Let me scroll past all the other shit. Like even carbohydrates, carbon and hydrogen. That's what carbohydrate is. We eat carbon. We are carbon. Anyway, carbon continuously moves through the Earth's atmosphere, oceans, and living organisms in processes like photosynthesis, respiration, which is breathing, and decomposition, just decomposing. When you die, you're supposed to be dying not in a casket, but in the ground to feed the earth and then be recycled again to bring new life. When you plant a seed in that same ground, and bam, you're literally coming back into you're literally coming back in different forms. That's basically what it is. So, like, just think about it. You have a pet. Your pet dies. You bury it in the ground. The worms and the earth just decomposes that said pet, and then next thing you know, it's a part of the earth. That's when you have dirt. That's what dirt is, right? Dirt is just shit that's decomposed and a buildup of that over time. That's why when you're digging so far down and you're digging and you're just getting layers and layers and layers of things that have died but been recreated. If I take a papaya seed and put it in the ground where that fish died, that fish is going to provide more nutrients for that soil because it's, all the minerals and whatever has made up my body is now being in that soil. That's what compost is for. Even when you take your used vegetables or herbs or whatever the case, fruit peelings or whatever, and you put it in the ground, you're providing more nutrients for that soil because it's breaking it down and breaking all the nutrients down from that plant and putting it into the soil. So when I put a papaya seed in that ground, it's going to grow a papaya tree, a very nutritious papaya tree, and I'm going to eat that papaya tree from the whatever has been decomposed in that ground. Whether it's leaves that fell on the ground, whether it's banana peels that fell on the ground, whether it's a dead fish, dead dog, dead deer, doesn't really matter. It's coming in there and giving me nutrients so that I can survive, and then when I die, it's going to repeat that same process. Anyway, yeah. So carbon. Oh, it says diamonds, limestone, graphite, coal, even like the Earth's core, or the Earth's crust, coal, limestone, and diamonds is carbon. In space is carbon, meteorites is carbon. This whole carbon and this whole fucking planet is carbon based, right? So carbon is very, very important for life on Earth, right? So what does carbon do? Carbon forms the structure of our DNA, builds proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids, supports photosynthesis and breathing, creates energy storage molecules like glucose, fats, and energy, basically. ATP, I mean. So the carbon cycle, it moves between the atmosphere. I think I said this already. Yeah, I definitely said that already. Trying to get all the info out first. So, carbon is basically the foundation of life. Long story short, it's the foundation of life on Earth because our whole planet is carbon based. So I asked it, does melanin contain more carbon? It says yes, melanin contains a high amount of carbon compared to other biological molecules. This is because melanin is a complex organic polymer, primarily composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. That is what the human bodies, any human, not just black people, but any human, the primary I guess molecules, I don't know what the hell to call it really, but the primary ones in our bodies would be carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Those are the highest ones, but there are also other ones, but those are the main ones. Melanin, let me see. Brightness keep going down. All right, so its dark color has the ability to absorb, its dark color and ability to absorb light come from these conjugated carbon structures. So it absorbs UV radiation, which protects the skin cells from DNA damage, conducts electricity. Can conduct small amounts of electricity due to its carbon-based conjugated system. Antioxidant properties. Melanin helps neutralize free radicals, reducing oxidative stress in the cells. Melanin is a highly carbon-rich biological pigment due to its aromatic and trying to skip past all the sciencey talk here. So melanin is more than just a pigment. It's a biological powerhouse with protective energy and even conductive properties. It plays a critical role in human survival, adaptation, and health, and its unique chemical structure makes it one of the most fascinating biomolecules. So, melanin absorbs up to 99% of UV radiation, preventing DNA damage and reducing the risk of skin cancer. Melanin acts as a natural sunscreen, dissipating harmful solar energy in harmless heat. So, like I said, eat the sun. But we're going to talk more about eating the sun, right? Some researchers suggest melanin functions similarly to chlorophyll, possibly converting light energy into biochemical energy. We convert the light into energy for our bodies to use. We're eating the sun, literally. Just think about how powerful the sun is. First of all, it provides the growth for all the plants and animals and creatures on this planet. Without the sun, we wouldn't be anything. It would be cold and dark, and nothing would be growing. Nothing would be. The sun is energy. Heat is energy. Light is energy. Just think about how powerful that is to power up a whole planet, and not just one, but multiple planets. Anyway, we eat that. And I mean, all humans have melanin, yes, but just think about the difference or the effect that it may have to be able to eat the sun. I said that wrong. Think about the benefits and the big difference in people that have more melanin. The more melanin, the more like I said, better, but the more melanin, the better you're able to have access to these benefits. You know what I mean? Like every human has melanin, but we have different levels of melanin. Just imagine. Anyway, so yeah, radioactive protection. Studies show that melanin can convert gamma radiation into energy, and it suggests that it can help organisms survive extreme conditions such as space or nuclear radiation zones. Like I said, conducts electricity. A natural organic semiconductor, meaning it can conduct small amounts of electricity. Energy can literally run through us, bro. We can transmute that up. And the brain contains neuromelanin, which helps regulate the function of dopamine producing neurons. It may protect neurons by absorbing toxic chemicals and acting as an antioxidant. Let's talk about this antioxidant and detoxification power, right? So melanin neutralizes free radicals, which cause oxidative stress and aging. So black don't crack, there's a scientific definition for it right here, because melanin neutralizes free radicals. Neutralizes toxins, poisons, and bullshit, basically. It helps protect cells from environmental toxins, pollutants, and even heavy metals. Heavy metal absorption. Melanin can bind to heavy metals like lead, mercury, and arsenic, reducing their toxicity in the body. This detoxification ability helps protect against neurological disorders. Evolutionary adaptation. Enhances sensory perception. Melanin-rich people Melanin-rich people have heightened sensitivity to energy, sound, and environmental stimuli. More aware, more sensitive, more all of these things. And then, let's see. Spiritual and esoteric interpretations. Higher consciousness and intuition, a connection to the cosmos, ancestral memory, and deep genetic intelligence. Melanin holds a spiritual or metaphysical significance, and that's what it is associated with. Melanin is basically a biological superconductor, protector, and energy transformer. From absorbing light and radiation to conducting electricity and detoxifying the body, melanin is a powerful molecule that plays a crucial role in health, adaptation, and possibly even energy transformation. Just letting that sink in real quick. Just letting that sink in, because We're powerful beings. And you also have to look at it like, you see how destructive a lot of the melanated people are around the world. Like, in America, for example, we're killing each other. We mad at each other. We jealous. We competing. We doing all of these things because that is the society that we've been brought up in. But also look at our culture, the culture that we've created for ourselves in this day and age. Us being sensitive to energies and us being sensitive to all of these things can have negative and positive effects, especially given the traditions and the customs and the societal norms that are in place for us at the time that we're being brought up, and the world that we're currently living in. It takes a lot to go against society. It takes a lot to be on your own wave, especially when you have when you know you're going to be alone most of the time in the process until you find your tribe and your people. It's hard, but what I'm trying to say is we're very, very powerful, and we need to be awakened and enlightened to this power. And that's just some of it. That's not even all of it. Let me see if I got another book right here actually talking about melanin. Let me see. I gotta find it. I got so many of these hoes. Damn, I think this book is indeed in the car. Nope, I got it right here actually. Got it right here. All right, so let me get y'all right. I gotta go to the table. Oh, African Holistic Health by Dr. Laila Africa. Gotta get this book. It's perfect. Tells you which herbs have which minerals, which foods, herbs, plants have which minerals, which vitamins. It tells you how to cure certain diseases in the holistic way. It tells you touches on astrology. It touches on everything. Everything. Gives you different recipes and foods to eat, plant-based foods to eat. Tells you about raising children. Tells you about sexuality, sexual personalities, human energy flow, literally everything. But we're gonna talk about melanin real quick. If I can find a page. It even talks about the side effects of condoms and how the condom, I'm trying to read just as how the condom kills your sperm. And I mean, like, yeah, it's the stuff that is lubricated with kills the sperm, not just the one that comes out of you when you are actively, partaking in that, but also you just gotta read it. It talks about not just the stuff, whatever comes out, but also like inside of you too, because it's going inside of you, and especially inside the woman, causing all types of cancers and diseases and cervical cancers and all kinds of stuff. Like, that's crazy. I'm trying to find this. I think it'd be better if I just do like this. Yeah, different treatments, different types of diseases. It talks about fasting, how to fast. It talks about emotions, psychology. It touches on everything. Health as a whole. Holistic health is not just, I got this kind of cancer, so let me figure out how to cure this cancer. What I need to do what kind of medicine can I take to cure this and cure that. It's not just about that. It's about the mind, body, and spirit. It's talking about it all. So, I think this is the page here. This is just the difference. It's talking about anatomy and the differences between the black and white races. It's not to be racist. It's just talking about the difference between the different races. and basically based on the amount of melanin. Who has more melanin? Things of that nature. Let's see here. Even the psychological differences and the anatomical differences. It was another page though. This was not. Yeah, this is not exactly what I wanted to talk about, but we're gonna do it anyway. This can't be it. I might have to just cut this part of the video off because I really can't find the page. This is talking about the difference between black and white races, but it's not talking about melanin per se. I want to talk about melanin. Yeah. Is that it? Nope. But it talks about everything though. Different types of flushes that you can make to cleanse out. Here we go. Nope. It's not it either. You know what? Just fuck it. I'll probably find it in another video. But yeah, this book still is a great recommendation for this book. It's perfect. I mean, literally. Go to a random page talking about fibroid tumors and how to help cure that and help that. But I mean, I guess I could talk about since I was already on the page, I guess I could talk about the difference between black and white races, since it was the only page that wanted to pop up. It talks about reproduction, male and female reproduction, sun exposure. The sun exposure, it increases pineal gland activity, endurance, vitamin D, energy, melanin secretion, strength, melatonin and serotonin, balance of stress, sex hormones, and oxygen supply of blood. The minimizing sunlight, free radicals, respiratory rate, bone loss. It decreases. It decreases respiratory rate, bone loss, lactic acid in the blood following exercise. Disease. I don't know. This isn't really written right, or I'm not reading it right. But basically, diseases causes more diseases. Blood affects your blood pressure, fatigue and depression, blood sugar. Yeah, so get more sunlight. I mean, the average, especially if you are a melanated being such as myself, you need at least 2 hours of sunlight daily. Yeah, it talks about so much in this book. Holistic perspectives. It talks about holistic science. Holistic science is a science which asks holistic questions and receives holistic answers. Non-holistic science views man as a machine without a spirit. It separates science as a non-cultural, non-racial, or non-religious body of knowledge, while African holistic science is a fundamental part of culture, astrology, religion, and racial identity of Black peoples. So, I mean, like, a quick diagram of the differences between Western and Eastern science, basically. This is a picture of him, too. R.I.P. Dr. Lyle Africa. He definitely got me here on my journey, for real, for real. Yeah, it talks about a whole thing. Like, European science says the sun gives the earth sun heat. African science says the earth has its own heat and excites the earth's heat. For example, you cannot give energy to a dead person. It takes energy to receive energy. Only the living can give to the living. Therefore, the earth has its own living energy. The earth was made whole, and then they say the earth is made in layers. It just separates things, divides things, and isolates things. The European science, as in holistic science or African science, more so brings things together as a collective. It's more about unity. It's more about togetherness. It's more about connection. It's more about nature and our connection to it and our involvement in it, instead of separating ourselves from it. So, yeah, well, let me find that. Here we go. It's right here. So, the psychological differences between Black and white races. Black race equally uses left and right hemisphere of brain and midbrain. The white race, characterized or European-centered thoughts are characterized by unholistic egotism, illogical use of the left mind, non-spiritual individualism, rationalizations, and non-creative. These are, I don't know what this is fully based on in this book, like what this information is fully based on, but a lot of the stuff you can just see it. You can just look at it and see it in culture. I mean, in society, in the world that we're living in. Because who really runs this planet for real? You know? Let's see. Not this planet, but this country. All right, here we go. And then blacks, obviously, we have high melanin content. Whites have the least amount, causing albinism. Increases color absorption in eyes, increases sound absorption in ears. This is what the melanin does. Acts as a polymer, converts energy, acts as a computer, controls cyclical rhythms of all organs, controls sleep, controls growth, reacts to gravity. Electromagnetic forces is what I'm talking about. Highest storage of information, processes large amount of information in midbrain, processes left mind thoughts and processes left mind thoughts in right and left hemispheres of brain. Processes right mind thoughts in left and right hemisphere of brain. Can taste full range of color of foods due to melanin in cells. Can smell the true aromas of the broadest range of smell and indication. Highest psyche ability, absorbs most electromagnetic activity. Highest civilizing ability due to high melanin content. Increased memory to memory transfer of stored information. Process most information in corpus callosums or colostrums. Evolve highest spirituality due to melanin content, because if we go back to what ChatGPT said, we have heightened sensitivity to energy, sound, and environmental stimuli. As for the skin, it allows protection from sun's ultraviolet rays, allows protection from extreme cold and hot temperatures. As for the and high muscular development if we're talking about the buttocks, because it's talking about anatomy. So in the buttocks is high muscular development, allows intensive hip and thigh movements. But if we go to the white side, they have the least ability to do all of these things that we can do. Not saying that they cannot do it, but we have a higher ability of doing so because we contain more melanin, because the melanin is what is doing all of these things and what's amplifying all of these things. So the more melanin you have, the higher ability you have to do so. The darker you are, the better. Not better, but more powerful in these aspects here. The less melanin you have, the least ability that you have to do so. So even the blood allows better movement. Wait, no, that's for that one. Okay, blood, when heated or burnt, forms complex pyramids, allows better storage and transmuting of energy. If you take the blood in the least melanated people, it's less pyramidal. So when you heat our blood, it's like forming diamonds out here. Look it up. Not diamonds, pyramids. Hair, least amount of body hair caused by heat insulating effect of melanin. That's the melanated people. And then the white side, most hairy of all races. Also, blacks have the broadest color spectrum bands in hair. Hair type, curly and brown, allows quicker transmission and receiving of electrical and magnetic energy similar to an antenna. Allows quicker transmission and receiving of electrical and magnetic energy similar to an antenna. Less melanated beings have flat and limp, weak antennas, least color bands. Hair is closest to fur. Hair has a kidney shape, slightly divided appearance when zoomed in on a microscope. So it goes deep. It talks about alcohol, ammonia, eyes, nose, women's physique, nerves, jaw, the whole anatomy. Even nerves. There's high melanin content in nervous system, allows nerve messages to travel faster and protects against disease. the white side, least amount of melanin of all races. Least amount of melanin in all races when it comes to it being inside the nervous system and obviously on the skin. Even the nutrients, down to the nutrients, highest nutrient density, most vitamins, minerals, and amino acids per square inch. Whites have the least amount. Not saying that they don't have it, but it's not as much and as strong and as dense. But it talks about literally every single body part. So, yeah, that and along with the psychological as well. So, yeah, this is it. African Holistic Health. That is all I have to say. I know this video is much longer than I intended it to be, but I just wanted to give a basis on the benefits of melanin. Let's see. Yeah, I wish I could type like that. I want to see if I can get a little bit more information. Also, if you type in melanin, Dr. Laila Africa, that's how you spell it. He has a video talking about the benefits of melanin, and he goes way more in depth than I am here. And his is very, very detailed, and it's amazing. But I just typed it in ChatGPT just to get a little bit more information for y'all before I slide out. The benefits of melanin: UV protection and skin health, eye and vision protection, neurological and cognitive benefits, thermal and energy regulation, immune system and detoxification, helps with heavy metal and toxin absorption, antioxidant and free radical defense. Hair and skin health: stronger, healthier hair. Higher melanin levels help maintain thicker, stronger hair strands and may slow down graying. Better wound healing. Melanin may assist in faster skin regeneration after injuries or burns. Let's see. Better heat resistance. It was with the thermal and energy regulation. Better heat resistance. Higher melanin levels help the body adapt to hotter climates, reducing heat stress and improving hydration retention. Reduce risk of eye diseases, better night vision, slower aging process, lower skin cancer risk, natural sunscreen. So these are just some of the benefits of melanin, but it goes way deeper than that. Even brain protection and higher dopamine retention, which influences motivation, learning, and mood stability. So yeah, melanin is powerful. You are powerful. Do not let anybody tell you that you are not powerful, because you are very powerful just from having melanin, just from being who you are. You are powerful. The more melanin, the stronger the benefits, the stronger I guess you could say the benefits. The stronger it's a word I'm looking for, I can't find it. But basically, yeah, the more melanin, the stronger you are in these aspects. Also, I want to talk about another thing before I slide out. I'm in college, but even before I got to college, this was still apparent. I'm doing a YouTube video. 1 second. I'm doing a YouTube video. But even before college, I was sorry, I got distracted. In school, obviously. In school. Went to a typical private school. Went to a charter school, middle school year. Typical diverse private school. I mean, not private school, public school. When I was first growing up, I grew up my first few years of life of elementary school was in Alabama, and it was all white schools for me. I was probably the only black person in my class. Well, I was definitely the only black person in my class, but it was probably like 3 black people in that whole entire school. So yeah, I was the only black in class up until 4th grade, and I had to wear uniforms and shit like that in school. And even just In fourth grade, it was very, very diverse. A lot of more black people, Indians, more races. And I went to school in North Carolina in fourth grade. And then fifth grade, I moved to Atlanta, and very, very diverse. But I still had to wear uniforms, but it was very diverse. I mean, I went to, I was in, yeah, I ain't gonna talk about my specific school, but I went to very diverse schools, is what I'm trying to say. And then after, I would say high school, I went to all black schools. I mean, an all black school, my high school year. And then now I go to Georgia State. So very diverse. All of the schools I've been to are very diverse, except my high school and beginning years of school. But in all of school year, even college included, it's not really talking about any black people. It doesn't talk about, they don't talk about the benefits and effects, not effects. It doesn't talk about any accomplishments of black people other than Martin Luther King. And I gotta admit, I'm sick of hearing about his ass. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was great. I wasn't here in that time frame. He did some great things. Not mad at that, but there are more of us who've done things more than Martin Luther King, and that's all we hear about. If we hearing about anybody black in history, we're hearing about Martin Luther King or us in slavery. And yeah, we might hear about Malcolm X briefly. We might hear about Maya Angelou briefly, Harriet Tubman, slave, briefly, but we don't hear about us doing any great things. But then when you hear about people, when you hear about white people, you hear about them accomplishing all of these great things, going on to discover new things in science, and going on to create philosophy and create psychology and create science and create and discover this country and discover this new research method and discover this and do that and create computers and create these things. And then when you, even as kids, when you're growing up, you see white people all on commercials and billboards and in movies as superheroes. And you don't see any black people, me growing up at least, I didn't see any black people as superheroes besides Mr. Incredible. The Incredibles with Frozone. That's the only black superhero I've seen growing up, and Princess and the Frog, her being a princess. But it took, look how long it took for him to make that and make more like that. And he wasn't even, they weren't even, well, Frozone wasn't even the main character. And Princess of the Frog had to turn into a frog. So, I mean, still ain't it's not as empowering. She had to work so hard to get out of her lifestyle. So it's still not empowering. We don't see anything that empowers us, that makes us feel special, that makes us feel like we can do things, that we can achieve things, make us feel intelligent, important. We don't see these things because it's not put out there. We want to be accepted in white society. So we, like Martin Luther King, want to merge into the schools, merge into their companies. We want to be a part of their Grammys. We want to win their awards. We want to be on their TV networks, on their platforms. And we try to beg and conform. We conform to fit into these societies and into these boxes and into these networks and platforms or whatever the case, right? Instead of creating our own so that we can all be on this. Like I can say, the Wayans brothers, they created a platform. They created shows. They created networks. BET, Tyler Perry, they created things. But even then, excuse me, Spike Lee, all the black movies. But you also got to look at it. When we do see black movies, yeah, we can relate to it. And it feels good to relate to something, to not feel like we're alone in this. When we see like Boys in the Hood or The Wood or movies where like Friday and stuff where they in the hood and they trying to make it out of the hood, or Lottery Ticket, or all these movies where they struggling. It's always where we struggling. We don't see enough. We don't see enough of us empowered. We don't see enough of us educated. We don't see enough of us as entrepreneurs. We don't see enough of us rich and successful. We don't see enough of us doing anything unless we're musicians, unless we're rappers or playing some kind of sport. We don't see us successful in any other realms. So we feel like the only thing we can do is make music and play sports, or we done for. We don't create enough. We need to be educating ourselves on whatever skills we need so that we can create our own platforms, create our own communities, our own society, so that we can empower ourselves, because obviously they're not going to do it for us. Why would they? I mean, if blacks were in control of this whole, in control of America, I mean, I'm pretty sure things would definitely be different. But not even going to talk about that. But I'm just saying, if, I mean, as a white, if I were white, I mean, shit is easy for me. You know what I mean? Like, I got white privilege out here. I may not identify with it, but I got white privilege out here. You know, I can do a crime and be like, come on, give me, cut me some slack to the police officer. And he like, you know what? Since you my people, I can fuck with you. You know, like, they have different types of privileges out here because they are out here controlling and ruling and running the world. Why would they? Why should they? Not even should they, but why would they care about anybody else when their only perspective is their own life, their own life that they've been living? So why they can't even comprehend how things are for us. Some of them are, evil, and some of them are definitely trying to intentionally mess things up for us. But the ones that aren't, they don't really, that's just their own perspective. That's what they've lived by, and that is their own perception of life, and they can't see things outside of their own perspective. Some of them try to, and thank you for the ones that do, but a lot of them can't. So we can't expect anybody else to open up a door for us or give us more opportunities or complain about how the world is or complain about how they don't teach us enough or educate us enough or love us enough or how they beat us or how they kill us or how they racist or how they don't give us opportunities and don't give us loans and all of these things. We can't be mad. We can't be mad because we can't control what anybody else does. But what we can do is control ourselves. We can control how we decide to live our lives, how we decide to be. This video is much longer than I intended it to be, but thank you for staying if you stayed this long. But we control our own destinies. We control our own lives. Nobody else can control us, the way we perceive things. Yeah, they can physically lock us up. Yeah, they can physically mess up the planet, which is what they're doing. What they've been doing, destroying the planet, and we've been helping them. But what we can do is change our mindset and change the way that we perceive the world, perceive life, and go about things in our own way. We have the power to control ourselves, and we should do so. So it's not about sitting in the past and thinking about slavery and how they messed us up. It's not about thinking about how they still continuing to mess up the planet and the food and the TV, putting all this crazy stuff on TV and the phones and the electricity and the radiation. It's not about that. Focus on what you can control, and that is you. Empower yourself, love yourself, and create things to help empower the rest of us, which is what I'm making this video for. This is what I'm making my YouTube channel for, my business for, because I want to help us grow and help us become better in all aspects of life. So it's not just about, it's not about the past no more. It's about what we're doing right now. It's not about the future. It's not about the past. It's about right now. What you going to do right now to get yourself out of the situation that you're in. What you going to do right now to help raise the consciousness of this world, of this planet. If you see that we messed up out here, do your part and help out. That's all I got to say. Peace.